It might feel like just yesterday that BEL'VETH was dominating the meta and they had to nerf her, but since then they've rebuffed her E, and we're gonna see exactly why she's still one of the best, if not the best, carry jungler for the end of Season 13. Because yes, that's right, patch 13.22. Probably only 2 more patches to go before Season 14 drops. Map changes, who the hell knows what's gonna happen, but for now, they buffed her E again. Basically, they said the damage reduction, that's gone down. Let's give her more uptime. Now, I don't think she needed that whatsoever, but what we're going to watch here is a BEL'VETH not starting Raptors, going some blue Gromp snacky tech, where you kind of leash them together just a little bit. You don't force a full reset on the Gromp there, it just goes back a little bit. You know, those changes in Season 13 really weren't popular, but you got to find a way to maximize your kit. Runes, as you would have seen, absolutely standardized stuff. We are against the Kiana jungle, which is why I like this kind of stuff, because in high elo, alright, even Master Plus or so, if you're good enough, you will typically be able to play and see some Kiana junglers. But most of the time, they're going to be feast or famine, right? Like, they're going to want to be very aggressive early. Red side, you see the pings here, right? Red side quadrant gank onto the Orianna. She's got range versus melee, priority over the Akali there. She can shove her in. So the flash is burned for free, and the BEL'VETH now shadows this scenario. This is the thing, right? BEL'VETH is really, really good at doing the Raptor start, doing the gank on the side lane, at invading and things like this. Here's the thing, though. She didn't start red, which is a compromise scenario, and most people don't really expect BEL'VETH to start blue, and they're coming down here. Now look at that. You see that? Is anyone really concerned too much about BEL'VETH's damage and E-reduction suckies and anything like that? No. Because they added the AD ratios back to the pets, and look how much time she wastes here for the bottom lane. So, is dying here good? No. If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. Did we see the bottom lane kind of push and then sag up? Yes, but what she knew, and that's why we have to pay attention to these things when you look at the minimap, right? You see them push off here. What we want to do is cut in front of the Kiana, but that's the downside. Kiana cuts in, does this, wards here, which is why I love this ward. I love it a lot. If you're a jungler who's going to gank here, right, and do this, and you know that they've been leashed, and you know they're coming down to the same side, and you're afraid of maybe a BEL'VETH or Graves or Jarvan and a Kindred invading you, then just slap down a ward in the river, and you can track their pathing and hopefully collapse in on them. But this is a 3v1, guys, and still the BEL'VETH hits the W, we get the auto attack, we have a Q, and then we just do a sucky. Now we try to use our Qs to get out, but we run out of Qs, and we're waiting for the W. Don't waste your flash here unless you can guaranteed survive, so it's good that she doesn't waste it. But the Kiana gets a kill, gets a flash, and now BEL'VETH is a little bit behind on that tempo. Kali kills the Orianna, and that's the benefit of burning the flash there as a Kiana. You might not get the kill, but your laner can if you burn the summoners. BEL'VETH out of base, 2 long swords. The Kiana, see this? Doesn't go full quadrant into the scuttle. Knows that the BEL'VETH will have top side down and red side up. So let's deny the scuttle crab, and you know, if we can gank this before they reset, or maybe they overstay like in a lower elo game, then hey, we'll gank it. But otherwise we can fall back to blue and the wolf camp afterwards. BEL'VETH has finished the red. We're gonna go to Krugs now. Nice and relaxed. Here's the thing. I've made main channel videos about this, right? And we've talked about the BEL'VETH doing, like these free camp invade routes. We even did one quite seriously with a guy we were coaching at the time in those red-blue wolf camp combinations, right? Blue wolves red into gank, red wolves blue into gank or invade. And we're used to that kind of high-tempo stuff, right? Ever since we covered DMX last year in 2022 when the champion was released. But, okay, just to restart that because this was a good 2v1 here. You see, we're waiting for the Lulu to come and gank here. We've done the red side quadrant. We can go in here. We can side swipe with our Q, hit the double W, get the reset on the Q direction, go in here. We obviously have the sucky that we've already used for the kills. We will die, but our bottom lane will clean it up, and the red buff transfer is complete. That's always good for us, right? And, as a BEL'VETH main, as a player, look, if I die twice, but I get 2 kills and 1 assist, I'm going to use that gold way better. And because of the passive, because of the lavender stacks, because of how we scale and snowball into those dragons and heralds of the true form and the truest of true forms from those heralds and barons, it's just so difficult to contain, especially with the builds that we're used to seeing with the Strikebreaker. So, overall, we're used to seeing, as I was saying, those aggressive ganking and invading styles. But while the Kianas and so on, as you see her deep ward by the Riven here, have to do that, the BEL'VETHs don't. You see, you're noticing the BEL'VETHs, especially the guy that got rank 1 2000 up here on E West a few months ago, he didn't have a lot of early kill participation either. You know, he was just full clearing. He was basically saying, look, I'm going to make my camps mine. I'm going to control the scuttle crab. If there's a gank, there's a gank, you know. He was playing it like a more neutral farming, ganking, hybrid jungler. Qiyana doesn't have that luxury, right? A lot of these ganky junglers like Sylas and Qiyana don't have that luxury. BEL'VETH does. However, all I want you to think about with this whole explanation is, if you can red side quadrant or 3-camp gank or invade, do it, right? However, if you don't see those opportunities, don't be afraid to full clear, to farm, to sequence down. And just quickly, because of the gap, right? Because when you do quadrant clear ganks, like we do blue side and we shadow this, we do the gank here, and then we do our red side afterwards, there's a respawn gap between the blue side and the red side, so we've got to fill that with good proactive stuff, and that's where BEL'VETH is really good. So Kali's moving down, we know Qiyana's moving down, we can Q here, we can Q flash W very, very quickly, we get the reset on that directional Q from that W hitting, now we can stick to the Lulu as far as possible, we got shielded, we're going to get polymorphed, we get our E sucky, lifesteal damage reduction, free kill on the Lulu before we would have survived, because the damage reduction was 70%, not 40%. Kali roams on down, gets a kill of her own, and Orianna does what she does, which is shove a wave and get some blades. Qiyana gets nothing, but this is definitely a more inty game. So that's why I liked it, because the KD at the end's obscene. We do by far the most damage, we have the highest KP, but you're seeing a jungler that's matching the clearing tempo of a Qiyana, basically, right? Qiyana's not going to finish off the Gromp here, 36, and we're on the Raptors for 36 right afterwards, but we've died 3 times. We have 5 out of 5 KP, 100% KP. And yet, we are basically only half a camp of tempo behind the counter. Think about that. So, when I say don't be afraid of doing your quadrants and your sequencing and then looking for gank afterwards on BEL'VETH, please, play the map, make good decisions, don't get too aggressive in looking for these invades and hyper-aggressive playstyles. You don't have to. That's kind of, I guess, the crux of this early phase. Now, Qiyana moves back up to her red buff. Bottom lane is super duper low, going back to base. Orianna here has used her ultimate to chunk. That champion is not healthy, man. It's not healthy at all. I would say, in this particular case, if your Krugs are up, obviously, please go Krugs, Raptors into the top side scuttle, because you know Qiyana is sequencing down, so you will anticipate her to be top side approximately at this particular stage, but you're not 100% sure, right? You're watching this, you see the Tompkins try and kill the Riven here, which of course he does do, as I said in the passionate rundown in Virkayu GG private Discord server. I said, that's not going to change or bench the Kench. Now, Qiyana, well, we could have given us a could have helped us there, Toad, but it is what it is. So, again, when you are jungler intuition tracking, whereby you kind of know where they should be, the enemy jungler, and you don't really have any visual confirmation, that's what I call jungler intuition, right? You're like, oh, well, they were starting top side, they weren't going down, like they must be top side again because they didn't show bottom side. Maybe they're there, but you don't really force yourself to side lane counter gank this Qiyana here, right? Because you don't know for sure, you just kind of suspect. So you can ping and be ready to rotate, which is what the BEL'VETH did. Unfortunately, we got nothing. So, now we know. Again, the Qiyana dies, but should be on the top side again. We can go ahead, and take this Void Beetle. We ward over the wall because we think she could be on the top side. And she's not in a position to contest whatsoever anyway, right? Akali's here, there's a ward here. Orianna has mid prior, obviously. Tom Kench has top lane prior here, obviously. So she's not even going to waste her time trying to steal this. And that's what you're trying to develop in your games as BEL'VETH, right? You want to try and create an environment where you can get a Herald, get the truest true form easily. Tom Kench will TP back up here. Obviously, we have already pre-scanned this when we went for the gank, and obviously you're paying attention to when people are scanning. So we're going to try and hit a W onto the Riven, who of course uses her Qs now, which is a big mistake for her. We get stunned there. She will have E, but it won't matter because we'll just Q into an E into a suck. True form, which we can get in a second. Qiyana then decides to go to the bottom lane, which is exactly what you want to do if you're Qiyana here. You're saying, look, I know the Herald was taken. I cannot match this bitch. I'm going to go to the bottom lane. Oh, look, they're all one-shot, fortunately. Even if they're not one-shot, if you can gank it, please do so. Because after this, you can then go and take the BEL'VETH side. We're just going to flash and dash. Easy. And, you know, now we can go ahead and steal the stuff. So the BEL'VETH will drop the Herald here. Huge fish. Reset our true form here, which is good to hold on to that a little longer. Now we take this. The Qiyana could obviously go ahead and take the red buff. You have to track the Orianna. She's dead. You have to track the Millie and track the Jinx. But I do think she should go ahead and take this. I don't think there's any reason why you would not go ahead and take this. She is obviously going for the dragon, but I don't feel like that's as important in this meta. Like, this first dragon, it's good to deny it, but Right? Like, I would be more annoyed at losing my whole bottom quadrant than losing a dragon if I'm the Bel'Veth, because the quadrant's important to me. That's where the denial is, right? That's where Kiana could deny us. So, while she's probably not getting the whole quadrant, you at least get all of this. Now you can fall back to this, or you can reset and come back down here, because you know that this is all taken away. And then what happens is the Bel'Veth comes down, you know camps are available, or only one camp is available. You're forced into a bottom lane action, and Kiana can trap you, counter gank you, and actually catch up there, which she hasn't done, right? And that's her fault. But obviously, Bel'Veth here, that's how you shut her down. And if that were to happen, and you are the Bel'Veth, and you did lose your camps here, guess what? Despite all of that, I don't care because I'm Bel'Veth, and I've got Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer, Stride Breaker, Black Cleaver, that's the tech, that's what you want. Super duper strong. The new quiver farming is very important since they changed the jungle, made the camps tankier, made counter jungling more powerful and potent. And obviously your mobility is absolutely nutty. Just time your E, you know, timing your E is the most important thing here. There's a Kiana over the wall, sucky, and true form heal. That's why. But the cooldown buff, I don't know why they gave that to her. Honestly. You know? You see the damage reduction actually does end up at 70%, so not to mislead you. It just was flat. Now it scales. Yeah. I don't think she needed the buff, in my opinion. Doesn't show up, but the Akali died. This is it. All you need is Kraken. And now once you've got the Kraken, you see, so either you're farming, you're playing aggressively, doesn't really matter. Once you've got that Kraken, and you have a few kills to your name, like what are we at? 6.3k gold by 11 minutes. Remember, my metric for solo carrying is 6k gold by 14 minutes. We have 6.5 by 11:20. That's what Bel'Veth does. So when you're curious as to what makes a jungler a solo carry, solo queue, hyper carry nightmare, it's their ability to elevate game states by pushing turrets, taking heralds, counter jungling, and killing with such ferocity that you take a standardized metric and blow it out of the water. We'll see what she has at 14, actually. Hopefully she doesn't throw it here. We're kind of greeting here. While I'm having this discussion here, we're definitely greeting. You're most likely, maybe you get one and you can heal. But most likely you end up dying. So a little bit of greed here, but that's fine. So 6.8. Obviously, Phyllis is in the bottom lane. He will scale. Both ADCs are struggling a little bit. But that's understandable, obviously, at this stage. Kiana now gets a wing back into this game. She's 4-2-1 now from these kills. Only down, 9 CS or so. Bel'Veth respawns, losing the truest of true forms and all true forms, and decides to go topside. There's no dragon, there's no herald. So in these moments, can I collapse and deny and stop this here tower dive and maybe save my team and get some shutdowns? Or am I better set just kind of sequencing my camps? And again, just because you're Bel'Veth doesn't mean you need to run to these scenarios. Is it better to run to the scenario? One could say yes. She got him! One could say sure, now she can get to the turret quicker. But I'm not always subscribed to that, because I do like the idea of, one, holding top lane if necessary, especially if we can kill them, and our top lane is down on the bottom side doing that for us. So we don't give any free plates away to the enemy top lane, and we can force a flash and kill them. We're just waiting for our Q cooldown to come off, which we of course will have, but Riven is the original mobility champion, but we did hit that one, I think. No, we didn't. Oof. Never chase a Riven just because it's unlikely you can, usual issue. So, could you go down here? Yes. Do I always recommend it? Not necessarily. You decide on what you want to accomplish next phase. Is a dragon up? Do you want to push this turret down? Are the camps available here that you want to steal? Is all of this down because you're sequencing in the opposite direction? Right? A lot of factors into whether you would go and help your team there or go to the top side. The top side play is okay if your top lane is down there and helping. You want to stop the Riven from getting free plates and catch up. You want to sequence there and go down thereafter. Weigh these things out in game. I mean, that's the difficulty here. It's not easy. You have to make that decision and kind of stick to it and understand the pros and cons of it. Now, the Riven, again, goes back to base, heals up, she comes here, she got Rav. The Tom Kench is saying, look, I will come to the top side, but, or who pinged that? Did someone ping, I'm going to the top side? Because no one's coming to the top side. Virkayu, what are you looking at? Tom Kench is down on the bottom side. I just saw a ping. I was like, yeah, okay. It was about Bel'Veth pinging. Sorry, freak. Someone pinged. I hope you're not offended by this singular ping telling someone where they're going to go. Outrageous changes, man. Absolutely batshit stupid. Anyway, so Riven's here. Again, we'll just hold top lane. So jungler's here. She died. Junglers here get kind of annoyed, and I don't like it necessarily where I have to hold and be a top laner. But I think this is a great game because it shows you sequencing, early ganks, dying in the early ganks but not mattering, getting objectives and choosing the right one, elevating game state by taking the top turret here, forcing people to move around the map a bit more, and then when your team are doing their own thing and fighting and dying and losing, you're not forcing yourself to go die and lose with them. You're saying, look, I can kill the Riven, push these waves, get fed, take my own camps, take this objective. Now I can move into the enemy jungle, take that as well. If they show up, I'll just kill them. This is what 1v9 means. We're at 15 minutes, right? 8.3k gold. Well, this is a little risky because our whole team's off the map and they're going to be spawning. Can we kill affiliates before everybody else shows up? That is the question. Yes, but we die. So this is not what I want you to take away from this video. This was not a good herald because, you know, the whole team was just fighting on the bottom side, the resetting, spending, flanking in the fog of war. You don't want to force yourself to be in that kind of a situation. Jinx is like, I'm running. You will not escape a Kali, an assassin. Always fun as an immobile champion. Tom Ken just now splitting this way. So, a couple definite, always good plays from this BEL'VETH, but also a couple no-no plays, you know? It's okay to greed for a kill if you're going to get it. As BEL'VETH, as an assassin, as a snowbally champion. It's okay. You don't want to die as much as possible, but as long as you're keeping the goal per minute very, very high, which she is, right? 9,000 by 60 minutes. We're 3k ahead of where we need to be at 14, so, you know, probably about 1.5 to 2k ahead of where we should be realistically. And that herald was just a bad usage, bad timing, ego play. But now we've got Strybreaker completed. We have here the Kraken completed. And we're already well into building our Black Cleaver. So, 2 dragons are given up, which means we need to structure our map such that we get the next dragon. At least we got this tier 1. We're going to push this down and use our body to get this, unless Riven goes all in on our Milio, to which we say, no, that's my Milio, I will protect him. And the Riven is now Lulu ulted. We're just going to keep knocking up and dashing, using our true damage, passive, and attack speed, lava to stacks. And Jinx shows up to grab the kill, get the reset here. There you go, very strong. What are we at now? 61, 11 stacks, total bonus attack speed, 54%. Huge. Kiana shows up, one shot to Jinx. Hey, how'd you do? 7-2 now. W over the wall to get the reset on the Q. Dash for an E-suck. Lulu flash over the wall. Kill the Kiana. Thank you, Tom Kench. Reset, heal, and true form secured. So now, you've got 3 people dead, Lulu running away, chasing this kill here. Again, try and taper yourself in a little bit. What is the better play? Push your Graves, your BEL'VETH, there's 3 dead, there's 1 going back to base, they have to respawn. You know, Kali was on the top side. You're absolutely free to take this turret. Free. Take the turret, take the Gromp, yeet yourself back over to Krugs, and think about setting yourself up for that next dragon. You know, it's not for a while, but, you know, set yourself up for the Baron. That as well. So there's things you can do here other than chase a little and get a little aggressive. And I do recommend you really focus down on that if you're one of these champions trying to climb through, like, Diamond and Platinum. And obviously, Master Tier, it's important as well, but you can get away with a few more things in Master, right? You guys know this. But if you want GM, you want Challenger, that's a kind of just quick pressure. End the game, man. Think Showmaker, Canyon Duo, 2019 Worlds, where you could still do it, Hyela, you just watched those 2. It was disgusting what they did in solo queue. It was just Rek'Sai, Canyon, gank you mid 1,000 times, pushing turrets, pushing turrets, pushing turrets. And they don't stop. They would win by 15-20 every single time. Do the same thing, think the same way on these champions. Just because it's Season 13 and not Season 9 doesn't mean you can't do it. In fact, it's more recommended. It's easier now. So, Orianna pushes out the top wave. We go back to base. We now don't have Black Cleaver, but almost have Black Cleaver. They're grouping up to take tier 1 in the mid lane. Here's Kiana flanking on the top side. Kali split pushing again. Keep your eyes on this always, right? Keep your eyes on this because you straight up know, as BEL'VETH, you're watching this. If I need to rotate, I'm going to rotate. If they're going to die, I'm going to go split. You're always looking for what's the best play macro-wise to win the game, to carry the game by my lonesome, because again, we're 655, we're doing the most damage here. Riven's by herself overcommitting, so I think, yeah, we could go for a little looky-looky. She's gonna take this though, and obviously it's Riven, so she will just base, I like this. You know, you don't walk all the way down, you don't walk all the way up, you just base in the middle, and usually you'll get out. Although I say that, and yesterday I did base there, and someone collapsed through the tri-bush. Maybe that's catching on, so pick your location to back, but pay attention to your surroundings as always. Again, Kiana looking for a flank. 732 gold amount here is 8.7 with 10.3. So the Kiana is literally 732 with 123 CS at 19 minutes. and she's down 2,000 gold to the enemy jungler, the BEL'VETH. That's what BEL'VETH can do. When executed properly. Alright. I think they're gonna overcommit here. Let's watch this, because I do think it looks like they could overcommit here. The Kiana is going deep onto the Tahm Kench. Everyone's going for the Tahm Kench. The BEL'VETH in the meantime went in on the Aphelios. So let's just look at that again, sorry. Because I feel like this is really important. You see the Tahm Kench flanking for this, but Akali's there cutting him off. The Kiana immediately goes onto him. Because our whole team split off to kill the Tahm Kench, the BEL'VETH says, hey, I can just go ahead and kill the Aphelios. Misses the W, doesn't matter. The Riven's going to flash in all in with their ultimate. We don't get our Coral to heal up. Jinx's ult splits the uprights. No points for her. Well, technically 3 points, but in League, if you split the uprights, it's not good. You want to hit the post. And that's a kill for the Jinx, and now we can flank from the backside. We're going to make sure we get that auto E. We'll get that kill off nicely. We're going to dash Q to stick to the Riven, hit our W there, auto attack, get our Coral, reset, and now we can take the Dragon, which is technically not a dragon. It's technically not dragons. Oh, no, this one is. But others are not technically dragons, so, you know. Think about that. Here, this is a huge one. I think with everyone dead, I do like this. Quickly snack this yourself. Alright? And then go join this one right here. Because no one's collapsing, no one's respawning in time. Either you go straight to the Baron here with your team and someone can quickly snack this up. Usually top laner who can split push afterwards. But if it's just you, go ahead, take the Baron. Akali shows up with a TP, obviously. This is definitely a little bit closer than would be liked, but I'm speaking more generally as a BEL'VETH here, or like a hyper carry jungler, because you want to be able to kill everybody, but maybe it was a little too close, but in my brain, it felt good. And I think in-game, I do get nervous about trying to do both at 20 minutes, and with a buffed Baron being more difficult to take. Well, buffed for him, nerfed for us. You saw that right there, right? That Baron was easier to take in previous patches, and now it's much harder to take. But if you're 1v9 carry jungler, you're a Master Yi, you're a BEL'VETH, this is easy for you to do, especially with the Hex Tag. We take the Hex Tag, we guarantee it, we keep it close to our chest, run straight over to the Baron, and then we just win the fight, take the Baron. Like, it's really aggressive, and I don't want to necessarily results based it by saying, yeah, that was okay. You could see very much it was close, and I also don't want to results based it and say, hey, that was so close. Actually, it's a bad idea. It's a higher risk play, without a doubt, but definitely one that can be pulled off when executed properly. You have to decide if you're comfortable or not with that risk assessment. I personally, on a Zyra, for example, would prefer just to take the Dragon, get really strong at pushing up the map, win one more fight like we just did, and then go for the Baron. I don't want to give them a Hex Tech Dragon, I don't want to give them the third Dragon, but I will trade a third Dragon for a Baron on equal footing. Like, if they want the third Dragon and I can get Baron for free, I will make that trade, right? So if I don't want to fight and we're 5v5 and they have the lead, that's what I want to do. But in BEL'VETH's case here, we can be greedy, because we're that fed. And that's the whole point of the champion. That's it. Hello, Riven. You're never going to stick to the Riven, I think. Let's have a look here. We do have Strike Break. Oh, goodbye, but we can also go for the wall. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, we missed a W, but it doesn't matter, because we can E-suck, but she can dash it out. We should be able to... Actually, we can stick to her and kill her at this particular stage. Aha, who knew? Me, totally. Coach, by the way. I knew. I knew we would stick to the Riven there. Categorically. Anyway, so we go back to base, and now we have Black Cleaver and Death's Dance in one buy. Pushed up the map. It's one of those games where you're just so comically fed at this stage. The KDA might not always suggest it, but 14.2k gold by 22 minutes, you're level 15. You know, this is not quite like the level 18 Kale vid we had, which was level 18 at like 24 minutes. That was funny. That was Kale Jungle too. And I made a video on that in 2022. But one of those games where you're so fed, where the general rules of gameplay don't really apply to you. It's like normally the Riven should be able to be strong enough to survive, but then you realize, oh, wait a second, that BEL'VETH is up 2 to 3 levels, so. Well, now, hello, Aphelios. Remember, if you can't get onto him, he will destroy you, so you gotta make sure you do get onto him. I don't think he's gonna live. Look at the damage, like, ugh, it's gross. It's so gross. That's, there you go. This is why BEL'VETH is just one of the best carry junglers in the game, and scales best with gold, and everything else. You know, Master Yi's kind of style with the Viego Kane, not Kane, but the Viego Katarina resets. Nutty. We do have Tahm Kench kind of enjoying himself, but like this is why people play this champion. This is also why she didn't really need those buffs, because you saw, right? You saw in the previous, before the nerfs, she might have survived some of those occasions. Now she's dying to it, but the cooldown scaling definitely helps. And the buff on the AD ratio on the pets definitely helped. And this build definitely helps. And basically, nothing can help Philios against a BEL'VETH that's this fed. So, a little messy at times, but hopefully funny. Edutainment. Thank you very much for watching. Virkayu GG for all the good stuff. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.